Let's write a program that calculates the age of our user. We'll start by getting some basic output working. Here we have a syntax error. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's try typing that line again, but not typing output. The name error is caused by the interpreter thinking the word testing is supposed to be a variable name, but it's just supposed to be a string literal. So let's put quotes around it. Good. Now let's expand that string literal to be testing output. Testing output works. Now what we want to do is get the age of the user. So we want to prompt the user to enter their birth year, which would be step number 1. What the syntax error indicates that at the end of line, or EOL, we forgot to add a close of the quotes. Add the quote and it works fine. Let's just change the way that prints a little, adding in that colon. Okay, now what we want to do is get the birth year from the user. So we'll use the raw input function, which gets user input, and we can try printing out what the user just typed, which was 1985. Let's open a new window so we can start saving our program and running it as an entire script. So I'm going to copy over the lines we have working so far, which is asking the person for the birth year, getting that birth year, and then outputting the birth year. We saved the program. Now let's run the program. We'll enter in the birth year 1985 and we get the expected output. Now let's expand the program by outputting the age. So we'll create a variable called age, and we'll just go ahead and say from 2013, which is the year of this video's recording, minus my birth year, which would be my current age. So I'm going to add a fix me so that we're going to, later on, we'll get the actual age. And we will print the age. Let's save and run the program. When we type 1985, we get an error message here. It's a type error, and it's pointing to line 4, which is a line we just added. The problem is birth year is a string literal, and 2013 is an integer literal. We can fix this by wrapping the raw input in an int function, which converts birth year to an integer literal. Now let's test. Input a year 1985 results in age 28, which is correct. Let's deal with the fix me by getting the actual current year. We're going to copy the code from getting the birth year, as getting the current year is very similar. So let's just modify the copied code to get current year, and now we'll use that variable current year to calculate the age. Let's save and test. If your birth year is 1985 and the current year is 2013, then your age is 28, which is right. Let's try another test case. 2003 and the current year is 2023, then your age is 20. Alright, great. Let's get some context to our print statement. We'll say that your age is, and then we'll output the age. It looks pretty nice. Now let's run that code after we save. And we had gotten a syntax error. I'm going to copy paste this into the editor to see if I get more information. Not really, just a syntax error related to age. Well, is it the first part of the print statement? No. It's the second part? No. So it must be the way we're putting together. And in fact, it's because we forgot to add a comma. We also seem to have an additional space in our output. So I'm going to remove one space from the string literal. It looks nice. Now I'm going to just copy paste the code and run the program using the test case that if your birth year is 1985 and the current year is 2013, that your age is 28. Similar to how we had copy pasted the birth year code, let's copy the code from the current year and modify to get the person's age. So ask them to enter the age, and we'll take their input. Now let's save and test. Using 1985 and 2003, we get the current age 28. The value error is pointing to the last line of code, line 11, and indicating an invalid literal for int function that wraps the raw input. So we remove the int function and test again. Try with 1985, 2013, and the name Jim. That's fine. Now let's try printing out my name Jim. What am I doing here? I'm trying to type my name, but I should be using the variable name, which is name. So when we print name, we get Jim. That's good. Let's add that code about your name is, and then the name of the person. Let's save. Try that. That looks good. Your name is Jim. Now let's tie together the age of the person and the person's name. So we'll say your name is your age. So Jim is 28. piece of code works just fine. Let's copy paste that in the program, run again. Jim is 28. Excellent.